Well, hello and welcome to this exercise on solving a quadratic equation effectively. Because you got the square root sign, so it has to be a quadratic equation, I think. Right. Now, again, what I've done here is to, if I just write it down again, I said solve 2 times the square root of x minus 1 minus x plus 1 is equal to x over 2. Now, what I've done here is to say let the square root of x minus 1 be u. If we now square both sides, we end up with root x minus 1 all squared is equal to u squared. Now, when you square the square root of an expression, you end up with the expression itself. So in effect, we now end up with x minus 1 is equal to u squared. Now, having got x minus 1, we can now find x. So if we add 1 to both sides, we end up with x is equal to u squared plus 1. Okay. Now, if we write down the original question again, we have 2 root x minus 1 minus x plus 1 is equal to x over 2. Now, I know the value of x minus 1 in terms of u. I also know the value of x in terms of u. So I now replace x minus 1, sorry, yes. I now replace root x minus 1 and x with u's. So we have that 2u minus u squared plus 1 is equal to u squared plus 1 divided by 2. I shall now multiply every term by 2, so I end up with 4u minus 2 into u squared plus 1 plus 2 is equal to u squared plus 1. If I now open up my brackets, I shall then have that 4u is equal, I then have 4u minus 2u squared minus 2 plus 2 is equal to u squared plus 1. The minus 2 and the plus 2 will cancel out. And now when I simplify, I end up with 3u squared minus 4u plus 1 is equal to 0. Now I should now split my 4u as minus 3u and u. So I now have 3u squared minus 3u minus u plus 1 is equal to 0. Now I can now factorize 3u squared and 3u, and then I should then leave my u plus 1 in brackets, which change the sign. So I end up with 3u into u minus 1 minus u minus 1. Now don't forget that here there is 1. So the coefficient of u minus 1 is 1 here. So when I combine both sets, I end up with 3u minus 1 multiplied by u minus 1 is equal to 0. Now, either u minus 1 is 0, in which case u is 1, or 3u minus 1 is equal to 0, in which case u is equal to 1 over 3. Now, I shall not substitute this value of u minus 1 into 2 to x minus 1 to test. Right. Now, we know that root x minus 1 is equal to u. So root x minus 1 in this case is 1 because u is 1. If I now square both sides, I end up with x minus 1 is equal to 1 squared, and 1 squared is 1. If I add 1 to both sides, I end up with x is equal to 2. Okay, so that's one value. Now let's test and see. I shall now write, instead of writing 2 into root x minus 1, I shall write 2 times 1 minus 2 because x is 2 plus 1 is equal to 2 over 2 because again x is 2. Now 2 times 1 is 2, so we've got 2 minus 2, that is 0, so that they will cancel out. Now on the left hand side I got 1, on the right hand side I got 2 over 2, and 2 over 2 is 1, so we're okay. One of the values has got to be x is equal to 2 is valid. Okay, let's try for when u is 1/3. Now, not forgetting that root x minus 1 is u, so root x minus 1 in this case is 1 over 3 because u is 1 over 3. Again, if we square both sides, we end up with x minus 1 is equal to 1 over 9, because if you square 1 over 3, you get 1 over 9. If we add 1 to both sides, we end up with x is equal to 1 and 1/9, or as a top-heavy fraction of, yeah, because 9 times 1 is 9, 9 plus 1, 10, so that x then becomes 10 over 9. Hope that makes sense. So we then have that 2 times 1/3, because 1/3 is root x minus 1, and 10 over 9 is x. So you've got 2 times 1/3 minus 10 over 9 plus 1 is equal to 10 over 9 times a half. It's 10 over 18. So I'm now going to change every term such that they have a denominator of 18. So I now have, for the first term, 12 over 18 minus 20 over 18 plus 18 over 18, because 18 over 18 is 1, is equal to 10 over 18. Now if I add 18 and 12, I get 30. So 30 over 18 minus 20 over 18 will give me 10 over 18. So the left-hand side and the right-hand side are okay. So we're happy with the values of x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 10 over 9. I hope all that makes some sense. Please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and hopefully see you again sometime. Bye-bye now.